Hey, what's happening, Wargamers? Welcome back to another Tuesday video. As you guys know, if you've been following along, Tuesday's the day I like to take a little bit of wargaming stuff and just share with everyone. Basically stuff that I think is cool, looks great, sometimes unboxing videos, sometimes just quick product reviews. But this one I'm really excited about because this is the game that got me into wargaming to begin with. This is Battletech, the game of armored combat. This is going way back. When I first got into the game, it was about 2000 or 2001. I think it was 2000. And I just started off high school, my first year, and met a guy in my neighborhood who actually worked at a local hobby store, ran the gaming club and everything like that. And Battletech at the time was his game of choice. I mean, he also introduced me to things like Warhammer Fantasy, 40K, all that sort of stuff, Necromunda and everything. But Battletech was where it was at for my first 2 or 3 years of gaming, to the point where I picked up an extensive, well, I guess semi-extensive for somebody who did not have a lot of money coming in, amount of Inner Sphere mechs, first Davian Guard, so lots of assault mechs. But anyway, so I'm really excited to see that Battletech is making its way back through Catalyst Games. They just did a successful Kickstarter. A lot of people have been talking about it. And frankly, this is just really exciting. So, in the box itself, first thing, without even opening it up, everything is now plastic. That is a huge step up. The old Battletech stuff, there was a couple plastics here and there, but for the most part, you were looking at pewter models for Battletech. And the models themselves were scaled oddly. Some of the stuff was scaled right, some of the stuff was just terribly scaled. A lot of stuff I felt was always a little bit too thin. So some of the details always just seemed really kind of finicky. And things like the Atlas, they were never the right size. It took a couple editions before the Atlas really became a proper sized mech. So really excited to see what's in this box here. So we are cracking it open. And we are going to see what we have to play with. Oh, geez, sorry about that. So right off the bat, we got ourselves a nice little bit of lore. And I have to admit, like, the lore was never something in Battletech I really got into big. I had sort of like the foundations of it down. The biggest extent of the lore knowledge I had was basically the storyline that surrounded, I think it was Mech Warrior 4, which was the conflict between the Federated Sons and House Steiner, basically like the Civil War. So that was kind of my first experience. And I love the fact that this game can be played with 2d6. Absolutely love that. I think that's great. Before we take a look at the mechs, I'm just going to take a quick spin through the book itself. So, well, actually, let's take a quick spin through. Oh, there, that brings me back right here. These memories right here. I always loved the damage charts for it. To this day, I still remember the way you roll down the damage charts for everything like that, determining what's hitting what. I absolutely love this. This is just bringing back so many memories. Actually, the Commando especially, I have some good memories of. The very first game I played, my buddy marched an Atlas up to my Commando, or rather marching the Atlas up, and my Commando, who was very injured, very hurt, and didn't really have much going on for it at that point, decided to just walk right up to the Atlas, smack it upside the head, and that was my introduction to Battletech, which was just great. So got some fun memories. Always really like the maps. These ones are actually really nice because they have the extra elevations really detailed on there. These are way more detailed than the ones I remember using early on. So that is great. I love the different height levels on there. I love the fact that it actually shows what type of terrain you're in, the light terrain and everything. I like the fact that there's roads. This is just making me all very excited here. I love the fact that there's a little cheat sheet here. That is great. Oh, just the depth of the game. Just fantastic. Just the fact that things like standing in water had a big impact on things. Hiding behind cover drastically changed the way the hit charts worked. Just great. I like, some standees for some extra mechs, so if you want to expand that a little bit. That's a nice touch. It's the back of the mechs on there as well. So far, I am quite pleased with what I'm seeing in this box so far. Now, I'm not going to go into the rules because obviously, there's a lot of rules to go in here. My understanding is that the game is relatively similar to how it was 20 years ago. So you got your arcs, you got your piloting skill, your gunning skill. You got the various weapon lowdowns, you know, your LRMs, your PPCs. PPCs? Yeah, I think it was PPCs. Gauss cannons, all that sort of great stuff. I always love, you know, that one of those great moments where you can just hit the right critical hit and just get, you know, a nice cascade effect where you just start exploding everything. And there it is. There's my Federated Sons. So that is definitely what I'll be rocking in this one. I have no clue if that's actually good or bad from a gameplay perspective at this point, because from what I understand, it is advanced quite a bit. I remember when I first started playing, one of the reasons the Federated Sons and Davian Guard really appealed to me was the fact that because they were on the front line of the clan wars, they had a larger than normal amount of clan mechs and clan tech at their hands. So I was able to play around with shenanigans like grabbing like the clan ER lasers and the clan like just clan technology. So it was like lighter weight, better heat mitigation, and just in general, it was just such a nice little boost to have. But at the same time, we played very fast and loose with a lot of rules. So I like the fact that they got these little data cards here. I guess these are for the a quick play Alpha Strike, because these are very simple rules on here. So I'll have to see what exactly these are used for, because I can't imagine they're going to be used for typical gameplay. But oh, just looking through here, I'm seeing some really nice names that I haven't thought about in a long time. Yeah, I always liked the Battlemaster. That was a great one. The Atlas was always one of my favorites, but I think I was always fond of the Commodos, which were I think they were a Kurita mech, and it basically was just a tiny little medium-sized mech, I think 55 tons, and they just loaded it full of medium lasers, and there was just something ridiculously fun about that. Oh, this is kind of cool. You got some cool pilot cards here as well, so that's a nice little touch as well. So all in all, you know, nice little details right there, so that's great. But of course, this is the stuff I'm really most excited about here. So let's see. Let's see if I can remember here. So we got ourselves the catapult right there, which was, you know, kind of the poor man's Mad Cat, Timberwolf. Got your missile launchers on the top there. Really dig the look of it. Got the Commando. I remember the first Commando that I ran way spindlier than this. It was just this awkward, gangly looking thing. So this, the redesign is really nice. Got your little Scout Mecha Locust here. Fantastic. All right, let's see what we can remember here. Let's grab the cards to give us a hand here. So first off, we got ourselves the Battlemaster. I think this is, yeah, that's this fella right here. We got ourselves the Battlemaster. And one of the really nice things about these new mechs is they are chunky. The old ones always had some scaling issues, as I mentioned earlier. They were, they just didn't quite look right. That they weren't quite to the proper scale. So seeing these with the like proper heft and bulk is great. So we got ourselves the Thunderbolt on this one. So once again, like, love the detail on this. These are going to be great to paint up, I think. Just absolutely fantastic. We've already looked at the catapult. So we got one that I actually wasn't terribly familiar with in the first time around. We got ourselves the Wolverine here. So once again, great looking mech, nice, bulky. This is, oh, it doesn't have the weight size on this little card here, unfortunately. But it looks like he's probably somewhere along the heavy to assault range. And we got ourselves, let's see here, we got a Shadowhawk somewhere. Maybe this is it right here. Yeah, this is the Shadowhawk right here. So once again, nice bulky mech. I like the much more dynamic stances as well. That was something we never had in the original metal ones as well. And then let's see, we got ourselves a Griffin mech, I believe, on this one. Yeah, so we got the Griffin right there. I like the nice forward movement. I like the pivoting torso there. And then one of my favorite mechs. Let's just blast over to it. Where is it? Do I not have a card for that one? This last guy's one of the great mechs, which I think is an, yeah, I thought so. It's an awesome. Where's my awesome card? Okay, well, I don't see an awesome card in there, but we got ourselves the awesome, which has, you know, a couple PPCs, cannons on there. I believe it's an 80 or 85 ton mech. I have good memories of this one. This was a staple of my forces right there, and I just love how big and chunky it has become. So this is great. I gotta say, looking at these, it's really kind of disappointing that about 2 years back, as I was cleaning up my collection, I actually sold my collection of metal mechs, of the old FASA and Ironwind mechs. I sold them back to the guy who got me into the game for a steal, if I might add. But he was using them, which is great. So I kind of regret not having those ones. But seeing these new plastics, these are great. They don't quite have the same weight that I remember fondly, but it is so great to see some better detail mechs out there, seeing them actually properly reflected as far as like size and scale goes. So all in all, this is a great looking box set. It definitely blows the 25th anniversary Catalyst edition that I got a couple years back out of the water. This just is so much better. I know there's a couple local guys who are playing the game, so I'm looking forward to actually getting out there and playing a little bit with them. And just in general, I'm looking forward to getting back into Battletech. This was my first wargaming love. It's something I've always wanted to go back to. I remember during my mini wargaming days, I would constantly chat with Matt about it, like if it was something that we could do. I even remember when Ash ventured down on his own to do Guerrilla Miniature Games, I remember one of the first things asking him was if there was any plans for him to look at some Battletech, and it is really exciting that 4 or 5 years after all those conversations happened, I think 5 years, it's finally happening. The game is coming back. People are talking about it. There's some excitement about it. So this is great. So anyway, there we go. That is Battletech, the game of armored combat. This is a great game. If you're looking for something with depth that doesn't have a whole lot of models to it, Battletech is where you're looking at. If you like big stompy robots, Battletech is what you're looking at. If you just want to go and just have some good old fun, yeah, Battletech is where it's at. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to leave your comments below. Let me know what war games you love. Let me know what sort of things that you've been really excited about lately. I love to hear about that sort of stuff. And always be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. The more support you guys throw my way, the more of this type of content I can put together, and I'm just having a blast doing it. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for commenting, and we'll see you next time, and happy wargaming.